I was told to show, not tell, so watch me.
Roll and throw it. First time this year. Slings one down the field. It's Jaheim Bell caught over the shoulder of the 30. At the 25, running away at the 10. 5. Touchdown. Are you kidding me? Boom.
Yeah. It is not dummies on the straight offensive. You get off the straight direction because it runs without intention. When did I fail to mention?
It really never gets tiring watching that last little clip of the women's basketball team getting. I know it really does. Hi, welcome to GamecocksScoop.com, the podcast, which is not what we call that, but we're calling it that right now. Home of the South Carolina Gamecocks on Rivals. Pauline, I'm tired. I'm already screwing it up. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on your favorite podcast app. And also, please subscribe on YouTube. If you've already done it, steal a friend or family member's computer and like and subscribe it from theirs because
please.
Everything helps. I'm here with Pauline Hendricks, who
hello.
runs our social media, has been doing some great interviews with players that are currently on campus. Already done Corey Rucker Jr. and then this past week, Kaysen Henry, which that one was really, really good. How'd you like talking to Kaysen?
I love talking to him. His first fun fact, he pulled out a chef hat and told me that his favorite dish to make was pasta carbonara. And I was a little taken aback because I feel like the majority of college freshmen know how to make cereal at best. So pasta carbonara is pretty advanced for a football player.
Yeah, class of 2022 freshman ladies, go talk to Kaysen apparently if you want a nice dinner.
Yeah,
cooked meal.
For sure.
So this past weekend was pretty crazy. We're just now getting to it, and it's Thursday, and I feel like I kept trying to wait because I knew some other things were going to happen, and we got to go ahead and put something in, even though there's going to be even more news in the next couple of days. But
we're never going to get ahead of it.
Yeah, it's impossible. So this past weekend there were 13 official visitors on campus, and there have already been 6 welcome homes since Sunday. Now, not all of those welcome homes were official visitors because one of them is a 2024 welcome home, but still 5 of those welcome homes. Let me make sure that is accurate. Now, 4 of those welcome homes were official visitors, and then the 5th, we don't know yet. I mean, we know, but you don't know yet. So, 4 out of 13, that's not too bad for just a few days out from the weekend.
A quarter of it, that's 25%.
Yeah, we'll take that. So the 4 commits were tight end Connor Cox, wide receiver Kelton Henderson, defensive back Cameron Upshaw Jr., and then last night it was revealed that defensive back Jalen Kilgore also announced, and he told everyone on Sunday, but he didn't formally announce until last night.
Yeah,
so those were the 4 welcome homes from Sunday.
He had us on our toes, making sure that we weren't going to miss his announcement. He kept us waiting.
I know. I was like, all right, live stream at 6. And then, I mean, it was awesome. I was in the live stream and I actually thought, some fans, obviously no one that subscribes to our site, but some fans were being a little pushy. It's like, hey man, let him have his moment.
Yeah, exactly.
He's here with his community. But yeah, that was a really cool ceremony.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize until last night that his father was a preacher and that they did it at that church and stuff. So that was,
that's so nice. That's lovely.
Cool.
But yeah, I just posted on our social media, I was working on some welcome home graphics for Connor and Kelton. And I mean, we just had one posted right away when we heard that Jalen was finally announced his commitment. But we're waiting for more. So hopefully I'm not going to be too swamped with new recruits and new commits.
Yeah, I'll send those to you right after this. We already know who the other 2 are, so. But yeah, so it's needless to say, been pretty crazy. We also got a video interview with Cam Upshaw last night, which is posted on the YouTube channel. probably will be recommended to you as soon as this one's over.
Yeah.
And then we have another one coming up with Jalen Kilgore right after we get off here, and I'm going to post that first thing tomorrow. So we'll get a little behind the scenes on the commitments of a couple of those guys, and I'm supposed to catch up with Connor Cox next week too. So just keep it coming.
Lovely. So you had your interview with Cameron Upshaw that we just said is up on YouTube. What were your takeaways from it?
Oh, man. And this is something that I've noticed with pretty much everyone that I've talked to thus far that is an official commitment, and several others that are targets, is he's just like such a good kid, very nice and respectful, and can tell that he like loves South Carolina. I've seen him tweet. I tell you what, last night, I don't know if you caught this, Pauline. He got into like a little bit of a like Twitter battle with some Florida fans.
Oh no, I did not.
Oh, it was amazing. The Florida fan said something about like South Carolina sucks or whatever they say. And Cam just took a screenshot of the score from last year, 40-14 or whatever, and just like sent it back to him. And I was like, there you go, that's all we need. And honestly, that kind of gets into his game a little bit as well, because as a safety, which is what I think he probably projects at the next level as, although last night he was saying, maybe a little bit of corner as well. But as a safety, you kind of need that aggressiveness and that like swagger about you. And I don't think we've seen that as in spades as much around here in a while. And he definitely seems like he's gonna bring that. So on GamecockScoop.com, Perry McCarty did a really good job kind of breaking down his film and some things to like about him. And yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty great offer list: Arkansas, Florida State, Nebraska, Michigan State, Penn State, and he picked South Carolina over all those guys, which again, if you want to know why, go check out that interview because it was really good.
I have been talking with the players, and I honestly have to agree, like all of them just are great kids. And I think honestly Beamer and the coaching staff did really well at going to reach out to like those types of kids with those types of personality. I think they're really trying to rebuild the team and like start getting those types of players that are like a little bit more aggressive, like we said, like we needed, but also are not just like, I'm here to play football and then leave. Like they want to play for South Carolina.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I've talked to Jalen several times too. He was actually the first recruit that I ever talked to, because I just came on to Gamecock Scoop in February. And he was the first recruit I ever talked to once I came on. So it was special last night to see him commit, and I'm looking forward to talking. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to talking to him a little bit tonight. But yeah, like I said, he's been like such a nice kid. Same thing. Like, and you could tell last night at his commitment ceremony that there was this real like community vibe to it, that he kind of is trying to put his hometown on the map while also, elevating himself, and definitely seemed like a the rising tide raises all boats sort of scenario that he was going for. As a player, I think Jalen Kilgore is a great defensive back. Like he's not rated a 4-star right now in Rivals, but it won't surprise me if he is later. Brent Venables at Oklahoma was pushing for him hard, and Carolina fans know very well that guy knows defense. And yeah, I think that he's going to be really, really good. If we're looking at the other two, Connor Cox, we're supposed to talk to him a little bit more next week. I like this pickup. He's more of a inline tight end, but I actually think he has more athleticism than his film shows. He was injured a good bit last year, so he hasn't really been able to show that. Don't get me wrong, he's not going to be confused for Jaheim Bell or anything as far as athleticism goes, but he's definitely a good piece to the tight end puzzle, and that's going to be a room that needs to be rebuilt here in the next couple of years as guys like Bell and Stogner and the new transfer Trey Adkins start to move out. So
See, that's like where we're at right now. Is I love our tight ends and wide receivers and all of our like offensive line players. I think we have a great team stacked right now, but like you were saying, we're gonna fall real short real soon if we don't make sure we have those types of players like Connor Cox coming back in to replace them when they're off like Kevin Harris
Yeah,
just left
gotta.
us for the Patriots. Like, come on. I love that kid. He's such a great person. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, really, dude?
Well, he doesn't choose. He got
Oh,
drafted
I
there.
know. I'm a Giants fan. I gotta be a
Uh,
little.
I thought Connecticut was supposed to be New England. I guess you're on the New York side though.
Mhm. I'm a Yankees
Um,
fan.
and then the last guy from the commitments on Sunday was Kelton Henderson. He was actually the first guy, but the last guy that we're going to talk about. And actually, I think South Carolina got a steal there. A lot of people have been comparing him to Debo Samuel. I think that's a little premature, but I would say he's a lot more like Pharaoh Cooper, um, for if a Gamecock reference. He's definitely an elite athlete with really good vision and short area quickness, but he doesn't necessarily have the game breaking speed that Debo had, at least not at the college level. But yeah, he's really good. And the reason I don't think that he's been rated as high is because he's been kind of a utility player in high school. He's played some running back, he's played some safety. And I actually think that's going to help him a lot as a wide receiver as he takes those little crossing routes and just kind of finds space. And he's not afraid of contact, which sometimes receivers are, trying to dance out
Yeah.
of bounds or whatever. He's not going to be dancing out of bounds. He definitely relishes in the
It's a big
contact.
dude too. So,
He is.
I mean, obviously not the biggest one on the field, but he'll
No,
do it.
he's a good size for a receiver for sure. Um, as far as some other recruiting news, there's a lot to get to. I probably won't
We're
say it
trying.
all. Yeah. There's two other welcome homes currently that have not announced. One of those is a 2023 welcome home that Beamer announced on Wednesday morning. I expected that to come out soon. It might come out before you even listen to this episode. I don't know. And then a 2024 welcome home, the first 2024 welcome home that Beamer tweeted about on Wednesday night. And if you've been paying attention on GamecockScoop.com, you can probably guess who that is, but we will wait until he reveals that decision. I'm I'm gonna run with this story, even though for some reason some other places seem a little bit hesitant too, or whatever. But I talked to Chandavian Bradley today on the phone, and he said he set a official visit for June 24th. Maybe that's incorrect, and he told me incorrect, but I talked to him, so I don't know. And that's a huge deal. So that's the 4-star edge rusher. He's the number 4 edge rusher in the 2023 class. That would be a really, really big get. He's out of Missouri, so that's like not a recruiting territory that South Carolina has really dipped into hardly ever. So big things happening there. Congrats to Sterling Lucas for even getting as far as they have with them, and we'll see how that goes. Couple of other recruits are set to announce soon. So Dylan Lonergan, 2023 quarterback, 4-star top target for South Carolina, is set to announce July 5th. He announced that on Sunday. I don't know if that had to do with the official visit to South Carolina or not. We will see. Dontavius Braswell, who's a running back out of Georgia, 4-star. He is set to announce on July 2nd. We actually ran a really interesting article on GamecockScoop.com this morning on him, but he's basically down to 2 schools, Nebraska and South Carolina. Most of these articles that I'm mentioning right now, and this is just kind of the nature of the beast, are premium articles, but it's $10 a month. I feel like it's worth it. You should just pay $10 a month, and you can read all this stuff. I mean, the past week has been insane. We've got 15 different articles that are diving in deep. One more thing on Kelton Henderson before I fully move on. Perry McCarty also did a really good job doing a new series that we've been doing called The Film Room. So yeah, Perry McCarty is a former coach. He coached in South Carolina and Louisiana. I can't remember all the high schools right now. It's like 3 or 4 of them. And he is using that coaching experience to kind of break down the recruits with film. And he's taking their huddle film and giving you timestamps,
Love that.
kind of breaking down specifically what he's seeing. So the first one he did was on Kelton Henderson. That's also on the site. You might have to scroll a little bit now because there's been so much that's happened. But and then he's got another one coming up on Trovon Ball this weekend. So that's something to check out. And then the last little bit of 2023 news, actually not the last, there's so much. Also, Tosin set, that's Big Tree, Tosin Babalade. Babalade. I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough name. Big Tree. Big Tree set a. He hasn't officially set a date, but he told us that he's trying to announce in late June, early July. So that's also soon. South Carolina is still in really good position there, and Lee Wardlaw just posted an article and interview with him after his official visit today. Another official visitor, wide receiver Tyler Williams, who is supposed to text me back anytime now. We'll see. Just finished up his official visit today. As far as I can tell, it went pretty well, but that's still kind of a long shot, I would think. I'm going to skip a little bit of that because there's just so much. 2024 news. I put out a really interesting article on Dante Reno earlier this week. So Dante Reno is the top target for South Carolina. He's the quarterback 2024 class. He's a coach's son. His father coaches at Yale right now, actually. Kind of close. Yeah. And one of the questions I really wanted to ask him, because I haven't really seen anyone else talk to him about it. And, the whole point of our site is to try to, ask questions that we're not seeing anywhere else. I'm a curious person too. I'm just trying to fill in the gaps, and so there's another 2024 quarterback target, Jaden Bradford, who's originally from Chapin, South Carolina. He's playing at IMG for the next 2 years. He's also a 4-star. He's also got an offer from South Carolina. And I asked Reno, okay, so is that something that you're okay with, the idea of both of you coming in, or, whatever. And I think South Carolina fans would really like his answer, which was basically hey, competition's good for you. I don't think that he is afraid. And, if you check out his film, he really shouldn't be. Jaden Bradford's also really good. I think that would be a fun battle to watch. I think if they both ended up here and they both ended up competing, that definitely is a good problem to have.
Either way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At least we'd have a stand-in quarterback and a backup one either way.
Exactly. Couple more 2024 guys. Mazio Bennett out of Greenville High School visited unofficially last week, and then he was back today for 7-on-7 tournament with Greenville. I heard he showed out, had a great day today. And then 2 O-linemen, Josiah Thompson and Cam Pringle, both were all on campus last week as well. There's way more news than that. You should go check out the site. If you hit the news tab right now, you could probably spend 3 or 4 days just scrolling through stuff. So
we did.
The next big recruiting weekend is next weekend, June 24th. So we get a little bit of a lull this weekend, although I say that, and that means something crazy is going to happen that I haven't anticipated. And then next weekend, next week we'll start breaking that one down again. Yep. Last, just little tidbits, not recruiting related. At the Myrtle Beach Gamecock Club the other day, Shane Beamer announced that fall camp is set to begin August 5th. So mark your calendars for that. And Lamont Paris also spoke and kind of talked about the roster. We have noted that it's been a little bit difficult to get much from the new basketball coaching staff as far as who they're targeting, whatever. So there's still
a good thing or a bad thing, you think?
I think it's just a different way that they are operating than maybe the previous staff.
Yeah.
or I just haven't found the right person to talk to yet. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
Or they're
Uh,
like not doing. I'm concerned.
yeah, I think everyone shares your concern right now. So yeah, there are 2 scholarship spots still open, and he kind of gave a little bit of insight that he's planning on maybe holding one of those till later, closer to the season, and then that maybe he's still looking there. Basically, he didn't say much of anything, but he said he talked about it. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. I wish I had more. I do have some notes on 2023 recruiting that you can check out on the Insiders Forum. He's reoffered a few targets that the previous staff were in on, and now he's given them like the seal of approval. But I do think it's safe to say that the 2022-2023 season might be bumpy.
Knock on wood, but
Hey, I hope that I'm wrong. I really do.
don't we
Um,
all? Don't we all?
all right, so that was a lot. You probably should replay that a couple times to get it all, or just go to GamecocksGroup.com and figure it out. But let's do a little fun segment before we go. I do have that
Mm-hmm.
interview with Jalen coming up a little bit after this, but we decided that since everything recruiting is crazy right now, that we would draft, meaning we're going to go back and forth. I'm going to give Pauline the first pick. Our official visit destinations, other than South Carolina, because, yeah, obviously our first official visit would be to South Carolina, both of us. If we were a top flight recruit and we're getting recruited by anyone in the country. So you get 5 official visits. Where would we take our 5 official visits if we had literally limitless options and everyone in the country wanted us? And then we also decided that we would each pick a position that we might be playing, because that might play a little bit of a role in where we want to end up. So, Pauline, what position would you play? You think?
Wide receiver, automatically. Knew right off the bat. But so my
Why is
first
that?
pick.
Well, hold
Okay,
on. Why
well,
why are you a wide receiver?
I love. Okay, so when I used to, we organized powder puff in high school. So I've always just like loved playing sports, and I've thrown the football around at the pool all the time back at my apartment. Like I'll be the one throwing it across the pool to people, and I'm like, I catch it all the time, and the guys are so surprised. They're like, "Oh my God, Pauline can catch a football and throw a football." But like, I just love because I'll like go from crazy distances, and I'll just be like, "Throw it, I'll catch it, I promise." And they're like shocked that I can do it. So that's become one of my favorite things to do. So
Did
that
you
I also think I'm
play
good at it.
did you play like sports growing up?
Yeah, not football. I
Well,
played powder
obviously,
puff
but
football. Yeah.
like hand-eye coordination. I'm saying you played other sports.
Yeah, so I played, well, I was actually going to swim in college, but I injured my shoulder, so I don't swim anymore. But that was my main thing. But I played soccer and lacrosse up until my freshman, sophomore year of high school. I am a really clumsy person, which is ironic why I could have hand-eye coordination with a lacrosse stick and a lacrosse ball because like most times I don't.
I
And the
think
fact that I can catch a football too is also kind of funny as well, but
I think some of
I
the
love
lacrosse stuff would have translated for football, right? Like you got to be a little aggressive and
I'm also a quick open to learning type of person, so I'm always if they're like, "Oh, you have to catch it like this way," or like you have to put your fingers like this way on the ball, and I was like I start learning all these things, so now I know how to actually kind of play a little bit. But
All right, I'll tell you what my position is, and then I'll let
yeah.
you get the first pick. So I played receiver in high school, and I played safety in high school. And since you already took receiver, I'll be safety. I actually like playing defense better anyway. I always enjoyed getting like a big hit or something. Um, I know that I may not look like I played football, but I did. It was I played it for 4 years. It was really fun. So yeah, all right. All right, you're a receiver. So what's your first pick on where you're visiting as a wide receiver?
I really tried to avoid all SEC schools just because of, you know, but I would have to say Georgia would be my first pick. because compared to Alabama, this is why I was debating between the two. Georgia's offense just averages, or like wise, is a lot higher than Alabama. So if I'm going for a wide receiver position, might as well go with the better school.
Okay. I mean, yeah, both have had a lot of wide receivers drafted lately. Alabama had Judy and Smith, and then Georgia just this past year had George Pickens, right? I think you get more immediate playing time at Georgia, probably, which helps.
True.
Yeah.
Also, I think I'd be scared of the big Alabama players.
I mean, they're pretty big at Georgia too. So I took a little bit of a different approach, at least for my first couple. I'm gonna get serious later, but I'm this recruit that's like, I know I'm good, so I'm gonna like enjoy the process a little bit. So the first one I thought of is I'm going to Hawaii.
I didn't even think about that.
Roll out the red carpet for me at Hawaii. I want the luau. I want the whole thing. Throw a lei on me.
I love that.
Yeah, so I want to know what the official visit experience at Hawaii is like. I'll give you some real like thought there. I don't know.
Well, then I'd want to do Alaska. I'd want to go see Alaska.
Oh man, I don't
see
know
what that's all about.
I don't know if I want to play football in the fall in Alaska though.
I actually think I have had an interview with a high school player from Alaska who played football there, and like he literally would shovel, like I live in Connecticut, or I grew up there at least, so like the football boys, they'd have to shovel the snow, like they have to shovel so much snow off of the field basically every day.
Yeah,
like,
you'd have to have a heated field or something too, like underneath the turf. Yeah, I don't want to do Alaska. No, I mean, I guess
I have to go see it if you're doing Hawaii.
I guess I would take my if I took my official visit in summer, Alaska would be okay, but I wouldn't want to do it during the season. That sounds very cold.
The days are also like an hour in the wintertime. Like it's dark the entire year.
It's like, all right, well, here's campus. Bring your flashlight. So, all right. You got Ohio State as your first visit. I'm going to Hawaii. What's your next
one? I said Georgia. You ruined it. I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry. So you had Georgia as your first visit. I had Hawaii.
Caleb ruined it, but Ohio State's my next one. And that is because, like I said, I was trying to get out of SEC territory. And Ohio State, like the Buckeyes, are undeniably like one of the best teams in the Big Ten, just like hands down. You can't really go wrong with them.
Yeah, I mean they've also had some recent guys go to the NFL this past year with Chris Olave, and yeah, I mean you can't really argue with the tradition.
Yeah.
And I also am still gonna just keep playing around for a little bit with.
I'll do a less serious one next.
With my second one. But then I'm going to start getting serious after my second one. These first two, I'm just going on vacation. I'm doing my thing. So my second one, I'm going to Colorado. So I'm going to go to Boulder. I actually, I've been out there before. It's beautiful, but let's assume I've never been there. And yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to go to college in the middle of the mountains? But that one, I am taking my visit like late season, so I can also get in some skiing after, snowboarding, whatever.
You're a snowboarder, I'm a skier.
Yeah.
The snowboarders sit on the top of the mountain. They're so annoying. They get in the way. Okay, but mine is gonna be, my third one is actually like more to your energy right now. But one of the reasons I love South Carolina in general is just the fans and like seeing all the hype videos of like, I literally, without saying I wanted to go to a football school, to my parents, I was like, yeah, I want to go to a football school. So I would have to say, oh goodness, I don't know. I guess I would say Penn State. I'd do Penn State. I think I'd say that.
Have you ever been out there?
Yes, but I would never, ever, ever want to go to school there. Like, I'm sorry. Shout out to my friend, love her, but no.
That's my only problem is I've been out there too. And yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere. Now, it does have the distinction of being like a college town, meaning like the entire town is built around the college and specifically the football, the football program. And yeah, the whiteout games look cool. I've never been to a whiteout game there. I would like to do that before, I die.
I went to visit my friend for a football game. I was on my way back up, and it was a noon game. And being a Gamecock, we are up at 10 a.m. We're starting to get ready for our noon game to start going and celebrating, seeing it, whatever. They didn't even get up for it, and I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, like we celebrate it afterwards. Like we don't show up to the noon games. If we win, we like celebrate it afterwards." I'm like, "You don't even go see it?" Like they're
I feel
like,
like
"No,
there
that's
are
not
a
a
lot
thing."
of noon games in the Big Ten too. So like,
You miss everyone. And it was the same day that there was South Carolina was playing. So I was in Penn State in a bar with my South Carolina jersey on, my like Debo Samuel jersey. Literally, I was the only girl there, like only Gamecock there, but still, like I loved it.
Did they win?
I don't think the Gamecocks. Gamecocks won.
Okay,
Gamecocks
well,
won.
that's all that matters. Yeah.
That's all that matters. Yeah. Penn State, I don't think so.
Yeah. So I remember in college, if there was a noon game, that just meant I was waking up at 6 to start the tailgate.
Yeah, we all know.
All right, I'm gonna get a little bit more serious with my next one. I did go with an SEC school, but again, South Carolina's not a possibility. South Carolina wins no matter what, whatever. So this one's a mix of serious, but I also feel like it would be kind of fun. I think I would check out LSU. So go down to Louisiana. They have I'm a safety, right? They have a really good history of safeties with like Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu. But also it just seems like it'd be a really good time. Those guys get rowdy over there. That's one of the most intimidating home environments in the entire country. And then hopefully I could take a little short trip down to New Orleans and hang out for a night or two as well. So
I have to go see Mardi Gras for sure. That must be crazy. My friends have done that. I want to go so badly and just like experience it. It must be insane.
I've been to New Orleans. I've not been there for Mardi Gras, but it's pretty crazy on a normal weekend. So
could imagine.
All right.
So then we have one more.
You have Georgia, you have Ohio State, you have
Penn State.
So you got
all right. Yep. Okay. So my next one, I don't know. I feel like these two last ones could be slightly interchangeable, but I'm gonna say UMich because of the rivalry. I love fan.
And by UMich, you mean Michigan.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Did I say it? Michigan, University of Michigan. But yes, I would love to go play for them. Not really. I mean, they do have they've had great wide receivers in the past, but I really chose it more for the fact that it was University of Michigan and Michigan State. So, I mean, you can't, that's a great rivalry right there.
I feel like obviously them and Ohio State are 1A, and 1B in the Big Ten as far as environment. Although Wisconsin's pretty cool too. It feels like another
Wisconsin.
one. Yeah,
I feel like I would never go there.
Yeah. I don't know how it is as a town. It just seems like their like game environments are fun. I've never been out there. I've never been in the state of Wisconsin, so I have no idea. But all right, that's a good one. All right, I got another one that's kind of serious, but also kind of fun. I'm apparently a prima donna as a recruit, so good thing that I was never good enough. So I'm gonna go to Florida State. I've been there for a game. They know how to party as well. When I was 18 years old, there was a ton of pretty girls in Florida State, which would have affected my decision as an 18-year-old. And they also have a history of putting out good safeties. You got all the way back in the 80s with Deion Sanders. More recently, you have Derwin James, Jalen Ramsey, Antonio Cromartie a little bit further back. So, yeah, I think we got this nice mix of there's a tradition there. If I play well at safety, someone's going to draft me from there, but also probably a pretty good time.
See, all right. So it's funny that you said that because my last one is University of Florida. So one, because I mean, Spurrier has left his trail of breadcrumbs throughout the SEC, specifically there. But like, um, I personally just think that even though we sucked and we pointed, or not we sucked, they sucked last season. We already pointed that out and made that a point. I feel like it's a great typically they do really good, and also like I feel like they constantly are like they're one of those teams that like really could go head to head with, I'd say, Bama, but I mean we all kind of know that Bama's
No, but
really good.
you always feel like they're in the mix in some way.
Yeah, like they're always at least, I would say they're typically in the playoffs, right? Or,
They have not made the playoffs, but they've made some New Year's Six bowls, and they're usually in the top half of the SEC and kind of competing.
mm-hmm. But that's the same to the point of just like I feel like they can play a lot of different teams, and it'll be a good game whether or not it's a really crappy team or an amazing team. I feel like they can hold their own either way.
Yeah, the swamp is also supposed to be in another crazy environment. I've never made it down there, but it's supposed to be a really good home
I mean,
environment.
we have our Gator traditions up here, so I've had it before. It tastes like chicken.
Yeah, I've had Gator. It's pretty good. I actually learned a crazy stat about Florida, South Carolina today. I'll give a shout out to the Locked On Gamecocks podcast. That's what I was listening to whenever I learned it. Andrew Lyon over there. He's been cool to me on Twitter and stuff. So whatever, free pub for you, buddy. Anyway, South Carolina and Florida are 6-6 in the last 12 games against each other, which was really shocking to me. I definitely thought Florida had probably won more than that against South Carolina. But yeah, if you go back, I guess you're going all the way back to 2010, and Carolina won a few in a row there at the end of the Spurrier era, and then they beat Muschamp to run him off. So yeah. Anyway.
So are we saying that the next game that they play is going to be a big one together?
Yeah, got to break the tie one way or another.
Oh lordy. Oh my, that'll be a good one. That'll be a good game to watch for sure.
Yeah, well, it's in Florida this year, so it's gonna be a little sketchy. All right, my last one. So again, safety. Again, thinking about the party scene and what's going on in the city. I think I'd take my last one to Texas because Austin has a great music scene. I really like music.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go check all that out. Maybe try to time it up with like Austin City Limits, something like that. And then they also have a pretty good history of defensive backs that have been drafted. You got Earl Thomas, Michael Griffin, who have both been Pro Bowlers. Some others that I can't really think of off the top of my head, but they've had some moderate success. And yeah, I think they're about to join the SEC, so you get to play, all the same teams.
Did you consider that though? What if they get rattled the first year that they're playing in the SEC, and then they end up not doing as well as you're banking on?
Oh, I think they're going to struggle, but I'm going to stand out, so it's going to be fun.
Forgot you were the prima donna superstar.
But yeah, so let's run back the list real quick. I had Texas. I had Hawaii, of course. I had FSU. I had, I don't even remember all mine. I had Colorado, and then what was my other practical one? Oh, LSU. So that's my 5. And what were your 5 again?
Georgia, Ohio State, University of Michigan, Penn State, and Florida, and like in quotes Alaska.
and in quotes Alaska. Yeah, I mean, I think between the two of those, that's a pretty solid road trip for an 18-year-old. So.
Oh yeah, they would be on the road for sure.
All right, so like I said, the recruiting is just only halfway through. It's just heating up. So continue to check out GamecocksGroup.com for all the latest there. And we'll be back next week to begin to preview that big June 24th weekend and probably talk about a couple more revealed commitments, maybe a couple more silence. Who knows? It's been a crazy time. But until next time, this has been GamecockScoop.com and the Gamecock Scoop podcast. See ya.